The Joe Pag Show will start in 3 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 2 minutes.
What's going on, people? Appreciate you hanging out. Let's go.
The Joe Pag Show will start in 1 minute.
This is the Joe Pag Show. To talk to Joe, call 888-941-PAGS. And now, it's Joe Pags.
Hi, great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by. It is the Joe Pag Show for your Thursday. Lots going on. The administration is not backing off of exposing the wasteful spending of your money and mine by USAID and other parts of the United States government. And these are programs and projects I guarantee the vast majority, I would say well over 80% of Americans would be against. Now, I think it should be 100% of Americans would be against it, but they're not. For some reason, they think some of this stuff makes sense. I'll go through some of the millions that are being spent in just a moment. I want your thoughts on this as well. Did you have any idea what USAID was doing? Now, I've heard of USAID. I knew that it was around for a long time. I thought that it literally was giving aid and maybe even food, maybe education, maybe safety to some people overseas that could not do it for themselves. I've always been a guy, even from when I was a child, I've always been a guy that said, look out for us first. Always been that guy. And for some reason, we don't look out for us first. We look out for others first. When you hear about $38 billion a year going into some branch of government that is immune to oversight, when we see that in East Palestine, nobody did anything for a long time. In Western North Carolina, people still sleeping outside until Trump came into office. In Southern California, the local authorities did not do the right thing to make sure there was water there and available for fires. You see all that going on and then realize $38 billion goes overseas to places and projects you know nothing about. It is mind-blowing. By the way, that is Sam. That is Polo, and I'm going to be your talk show host today, Joe Pags. It was a pleasure to be on the James Show earlier on WBAP in Dallas. We just love the love that we're getting from Dallas. This is we're getting close to our first week on the air there from 8 p.m. to midnight, and we love every second of it. All right, let me go through some of this that we're exposing from USAID. And you should be as outraged as Caroline Leavitt is. In fact, Caroline Leavitt is the press secretary. Let's start with her. Then I'll break down some of what's been released. If you're on X, you should follow a site called Rapid Response 47. Sam, is that not the best site we've seen yet?
I am literally on that site right now.
I mean, I get up in the morning, go check it out, see what's going on, make some videos from that. It is absolute direct information from this administration showing exactly what's going on as far as the agenda. There is no lack of transparency. There's no cloaking it like Biden did for a long time. Rapid Response 47 is an X site you should go to. Also, while you're there, Joe Talk Show is mine. Let's go through some of this after we hear from Caroline Leavitt.
Going through the federal government line by line and making this government more efficient is one of those priorities and one of those promises that President Trump made. And as you just cited, John, 56% of Americans support freezing foreign aid. And I read a fascinating article in the Washington Post today. They interviewed voters in Pennsylvania, and all of them said that they support President Trump and Elon Musk's efforts to make this government more efficient. What President Trump and Elon Musk and this entire administration is trying to do is make our bloated bureaucracy here in Washington run like a profitable business. And every agency has been tasked with going line by line and ensuring that the American taxpayers' money is aligned with the American people's interests. It's a common sense solution to fixing a decades-old problem of bloated bureaucracy, waste, fraud, and abuse. And the vast majority of Americans support it. So the Democrats can hoot and holler all they want. This White House will stay committed to delivering on President Trump's priorities and being good stewards of the hardworking American people's tax dollars. All right.
Well, duh, that's what we want. We want you to be a good steward of our money. You're forcing us to give you the money, then we're not allowed to ask questions about the $38 billion that's going overseas, and it's not going overseas to feed people and clothe them and give them some humanity. It's not. I'm going to show you some of what it's going to. And those listening on the radio, obviously I can't show it to you. It would be kind of weird, though, if I just showed up through your radio. That'd be kind of neat. But I'll read it to you. For those who are watching, those who are listening, you'll hear it. $7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. What? For those who don't know, that means teaching people in Sri Lanka not to say man and woman, not to say he and she, not to say girl and boy. That's binary gendered language. We're giving them $7.9 million of your dollars and mine to stop doing that. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. I kid you not. 20 milli. Because we want Sesame Street somewhere in Baghdad. 20 million of your money and mine. 4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I don't speak Kazakh. I think that's what they speak there. I would not know if there were disinformation. But let me see how clearly I can make this. And I just want to be very direct. I don't care if there's disinformation in Kazakhstan. I don't. Maybe I'm mean. 1.5 million for art for inclusion of people with disabilities. I don't know what that means. I said the sentence. Didn't miss a word. Don't know what it means. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $2 million of your dollars and mine. $2 million. $6 million to transform digital spaces to reflect feminist democratic principles. Say, what does that mean?
Words.
That's right. It's a salad. It's just a salad.
Right.
It's like Kamala Harris wrote it. By the way, did you happen to check out any of that 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris? The uncut, raw interview?
I can't believe that they released that. And I did watch a little bit of it, but the ambient sound bothered me. So I'm just going to have to watch it in full at some point. But
you
I
don't
cannot believe that's
Let me
released.
save you time. Don't watch it in full. Don't.
Oh, okay.
Don't.
Why?
Because it's Kamala Harris doing what Kamala Harris does. She says a billion words that don't mean anything. They're disconnected. CBS just lied to the American people when they released that because her answers were nowhere near as direct and concise as they pretended. She's all over the place. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So I'm saying don't watch it. I'm
Okay,
here to help. 2.1 million to help the BBC value the diversity of Libyan society. What? The BBC is British Broadcasting. Why would they have to value the diversity of Libyan society? And last I checked, there's not a lot of diversity in Libya. A lot of Libyans there. But that's 2.1 million, not of BBC money, not of money from the UK, or UK, like I like to call it. No. That's your money that we're sending over there. Oh, but wait, there's more. 2.5 million to promote inclusion in Vietnam. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? As far as I know, Vietnam is filled with people from Vietnam. They're all Vietnamese. Not a whole lot of diversity and inclusion there. So who are you including? Here's a good one. $16.8 million for separate inclusion group in Vietnam. So that's a total of about $20 million to Vietnam. And I don't know why. Sam, do you know why?
Inclusion.
Right, but what are they including?
I have no idea. I mean, it is literally inclusion in quotes. Like,
yes.
I don't think they even know what it means.
Don't know. But there's good news. $5 million to Eco Health Alliance, one of the key NGOs funding bat virus research at the Wuhan lab. So we're going to give $5 million more dollars to the organization that allegedly was doing the gain of function at the Wuhan lab that ended up releasing a virus that killed millions. $20 million for a group related to a key player in the Russiagate impeachment hoax. Just some person got $20 million from USAID that doesn't have any of its own money. It got it from you. $1.1 million to an American LGBT group. I don't even know what that means. I don't.
Armenian.
Oh, is it Armenian?
Yes.
It's even worse. Not that I want American groups to get it, but this is an Armenian group. Because in Armenia, we need some more LGBT groups. 1.1 million of your dollars and mine. 1.2 million to help the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the Service and Development Agency in Washington, D.C., build a state-of-the-art 440-seat auditorium. $1.2 million to help this whatever church to build an auditorium in Washington, D.C. Your money and mine. I don't get it. $1.3 million to Arab and Jewish photographers. Sam, you're a photographer.
I'm a photographer. I would love to have $1.3 million.
Maybe convert. You could be an Arab or a Jew. You just convert.
I guess.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Last one. This is just the first 2 pages. We can go on and on and on. $1.5 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica, man. Because God knows they're smoking the ganja and they're going, yeah, man, we should do the LGBT advocacy. Sam, you down?
No, thank you.
1.5 million. And again, as I said, tip of the iceberg. Now, I took just half that list, and I made a TikTok and an Instagram and a YouTube and an X. Go and check it out. Just in TikTok, we're approaching 850,000 there. Just go there. It's Joe Pags, Joepags. On X, it's Joe Talk Show. On YouTube, Joe Talk Show. On Instagram, Joe Talk Show. Those links are over at my website, joepags.com. Now's the time that we open the phone lines, though. I have just given you from Rapid Response 47, which is directly connected with the administration. These numbers are real numbers. They're above reproach. Just gave you the numbers. I got to hear from you. Is there anything that I mentioned in there that you're okay with your money being spent on? Because it's not one program. And again, remember, $38 billion. I just read you several million. $38 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. So $38,000 million of yours and mine was spent on this crap. And we don't even know much of it. And I can use it. That's an official term from Caroline Levitt, I believe. I believe that's the term. Pretty sure that's the one, as identified by one Polo Cuellar yesterday. That is her favorite word. This is crap. Are you okay with any of the spending? Or are you thinking to yourself like I am? Self, I'd like for them to stop spending it on that crap. 833 Joe Pags. 833-JOEPAGS, 833-563-7247, or joepags.com. Scroll down and click on Contact. Got to tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier. It's finally here, built on the incredible success of the previous model. And what this does is it offers you two technologies. We'll get rid of 99.9% of viruses, mold, bacteria in the air, gone. Smells, odors, gone. Smoke, gone. Dirty diapers, garbage, gone. The Thunderstorm's going to get rid of any stinky smell, guaranteed. Odors from all those things that I mentioned and then some. Whether it's at your home, could be in the garage, in the basement, could be at the office, could be on your travels. Take it to the hotel room and plug it right in. You're going to get a 3-pack right now and save some money for any room you choose to put it in. You need clean, fresh air that literally smells like a thunderstorm. You go, wow, it's a thunderstorm in my living room. I'm telling you, go and get these right now. Save $200 on a 3-pack. Get 3 units for less than $200 right now. When you go to EdenPureDeals.com, use discount code PAGS3 to save $200 right now. As I said, EdenPureDeals.com. The code is PAGS, the number 3, and we're back after this. Stay here.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
Clear.
What's happening, people? Good to see everybody. Let's go. Up and running on Twitch, subs, give subs, and bits. Up and running on YouTube. We cannot monetize on YouTube except for super chats, memberships, and gift memberships. And on Rumble, it's going to be subs, gift subs, and Rumble rants. Thanks. Stroud, thank you. I appreciate that. 6 months in advance. Awesome. Great to have you. Thanks. I appreciate you stopping by, breaking down the waste that we just now uncovered. When I talk to Tracy Beanz later, she makes a great point. She says, that's just one agency. She's right. Great conversation, by the way, with Grady Judd as well. He's the sheriff of Polk County, Florida. Love Grady Judd. He's the one that says, yeah, you want to come and loot after a hurricane? Shoot him graveyard dead. He's the one where some reporter said, why did you have to shoot him 36 times? And Grady, you know what his answer was, Sam?
What?
I bet Polo knows. Somebody asked Grady Judd, why did the sheriff's officers have to shoot the carjacker 36 times? You know what his answer was? Polo, do you know?
I'm assuming just to make sure.
No, his answer was because we ran out of bullets.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
just doesn't care. You know what I mean? You got to love Grady Judd. You have to, because he just doesn't play around. So we have him hour number 2. You don't want to miss a second of that. We talk about deterrence. We talk about sheriffs and police chiefs saying they're not going to assist ICE in getting rid of people. Also, he's got a new program called Southbound and Down. Sam, you know what Southbound and Down is?
The immigration system?
Something like that. I mean, it does have to do with that, so not bad. So we'll get into that coming up. Make sure you stick around for that. A lot of people want to be heard, though, on all this waste found at USAID. And again, it's just one agency. You're talking about billions and billions of dollars wasted that you don't even know about. James, Melbourne, Florida, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Joe, how you doing? Hey, I think you just touched on the reason I called was that USAID represents $50 billion. And that's a drop in the bucket when you look at the federal expenditures from 2024, which numbers in the trillions. And so my concern is, what other agencies were engaged in this kind of, wild, reckless, insane spending, and when is it going to come out? I think the DOD and the VA budgets are going to make everybody's eyes pop out of their heads.
No, I agree with you, and I think that we've got people. James, thank you. By the way, we love Melbourne. I'm told by Bill Mick, who's a great guy there, that our ratings are some of the highest they've seen at that station. So that's awesome. We love that, and we love taking you home every day in your drive home in Melbourne. It's a good question. How much money are we really going to find? Now, going in, I believe President Trump assumed it would be $100 billion, something like it, maybe a couple $100 billion. Elon Musk already is saying it's going to be more like $750 billion. $750 billion in waste, if you can imagine that. And I can imagine that any American that works hard, like you do and like I do, I can't imagine any American saying, I really want more of my money to go to wasteful programs that bring Sesame Street to Iraq. I don't think anybody wants that, or Serbia gets to learn about diversity. No, I don't think anybody wants that. I don't. And as much as they want to start trouble and yell and scream that they're going after your Medicaid and all that, they're not. Food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, they're not involved in these cuts. They're not involved in this expose on exactly how much money this government is going through. So any normal American who doesn't want to pay more in taxes than we're already paying wouldn't want any of this to be spent. So they're all wet. I hope they keep on yelling and screaming from their overmodulated microphones in Washington, D.C. I hope they do. Sam, kind of funny yesterday, they couldn't protest in Washington. Did we tell people why they couldn't protest?
I'm not sure that we did tell them why, but it was pretty funny.
Pretty damn cold out. It was too cold to protest. This is how stupid. This is how stupid the people there who were going to protest. A, most of us don't care. We'll never watch their stupid protest in Washington. And B, come on, man, what a bunch of wusses. My comment on that story on X was, what a bunch of wusses. Really, it's too cold for you to stand up for what you believe in? Stop. Come on, just stop it now. It's 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. Want to hear from you. Let me go to AJ, not that AJ, but another AJ. What's going on?
Hey, you there?
I am in Iowa. Talk to me. What's going on today?
Hey, I just want to let you know that here in Burlington, Iowa, I talked to my local AM radio station, and they are now playing you guys. So that's one thing.
I love it. Thank you.
Number two, I want to talk about these funds that are being sent overseas. I wonder if any of these things are actually being followed through with. So are they actually creating a new Sesame Street, or is this just a ploy? So, hey, I'll give you this amount of money. You keep this much. You kick back this much. and some of these politicians aren't getting kickbacks from these things as opposed to these actually happening.
Absolutely.
I mean, do we really
AJ, let me
think
stop
that?
you because that is an absolutely great question. It's a wonderful question because now we have to go see if is there a Sesame Street in Baghdad, or did somebody get $20 billion as a kickback, as a payoff, and as part of regime change? I think you nailed it, and I think that's got to be answered. That's a great question.
We know that that's what's been happening in Ukraine with Joe Biden, so why would it not happen? It's almost like all these liberals found out that that's what they have, that they can do that,
Yes.
and then they all just jumped on the bandwagon, free money.
I'm with you. And listen, great call, and I'm glad that we're on there in Iowa now. Great call. It's a perfect question. Are they really spending $38 to $40 billion a year on diversity programs in Armenia? Are they really doing that? Are they really doing it on gender studies in Libya? Is that really what's going on? Or is this about nation building? Is this about power and control? Is it about regime change in some of these places? It's a valid question, and it's a question that I hope that we get answers to. As Elon Musk and his team uncovers this ridiculous waste that's going on in the federal government, are they going to follow through and say, well, was there a Sesame Street added in Baghdad? Was there a BBC UK journalist learning about Libyan diversity? Did that really happen? Or were those just fronts to pay everybody off to do what this organization wanted or what the deep state wanted? 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. We're coming right back.
This is the Joe Pags Show.
You're clear.
What's happening, people? Good to see everybody. That was a great question by that caller. I'm glad that he called in. It was good.
I'm sure they'll say that they, were getting to it. They just never completed it.
Yeah, we're going to get there. We just didn't quite needed another 20 million to get it done.
Right.
Paulo, Zelensky lost $100 billion and nobody's saying anything. $100 billion. It's just missing. He didn't know where it is.
Sports betting, maybe?
Could be. FanDuel.
I mean, he could always blame it on the war, though. So like, oh, well, maybe it got blown up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a pallet of 100 billion got blown up. Come on.
Yeah.
Hi, great to have you. Thanks. About an hour from now, Grady Judd, the sheriff of Polk County, Florida. He is the guy that says if you're a bad guy doing bad things to good people, you should be graveyard dead. And I can't disagree with him. We get into the fact that sheriffs have more leeway than police chiefs do. We get into the fact that sheriffs are elected by the people, so they answer to the people. And, police chiefs, generally speaking, are appointed by somebody at City Hall or the county commission or something. And they can dig in and say, listen, I'm not going to do that radical thing you want me to do, but it's harder because they could lose their jobs. So we get into that. Certainly we get into deterrence. We get into why Polk County, Florida has elected him to 6 terms now and why the crime there is down 53%. I think the answer is obvious, but make sure you stick around. He's a great interview. You're gonna love Sheriff Grady Judd. Those just joining us, I rattled off a bunch of stuff, a bunch of radical stuff that this administration under DOGE, Department of Governmental Efficiency or Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk and a bunch. I guess Trump the other day said a bunch of 19-year-olds who are really, really smart. They're going through with a fine-tooth comb, finding a bunch of waste, a bunch of garbage, as Caroline Levitt would say, a bunch of crap, and they're getting rid of it. By the way, I sent out congratulations today to our friend Laura Trump. She's getting a new show on Fox News Channel on Saturday or Sunday. Do we know what day of week it is, Sam?
I believe it's Saturday. Let me double check.
Okay. So that's cool. We're happy for Laura. Certainly, that's a very smart move. I told her they're very smart to do that. They're lucky to have you. And so we'll be watching that for sure. Love having her on this program as well. But back to this story. We've got DOGE uncovering all this ridiculous spending. I know that you know, that I know that you know, that I know that you know, that neither you nor I want them spending our money like this. There is no regular American citizen that thinks this is okay. Should be Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Thanks, Sam. So 9 p.m. Eastern. Nobody wants this spending unless you're a radical, woke lunatic. And I'm going to go ahead and co-opt President Trump's term for these people. They are lunatics. And I think the caller is right. You're probably going to find a bunch of waste at the DOD, probably find waste at the VA, where they're not taking care of veterans, but they're still wasting a bunch of money. Because once people get on that payroll, they don't want to get off the payroll. So for me, we have to keep on going through with a fine-tooth comb, find this waste and get rid of it. It's easier said than done because the president doesn't really have a line item veto. It'd be hard to do, but does he have the ability to shut down an entire organization like USAID with the swipe of a pen? I think so, because it was created with the swipe of a pen. I think that's his way to do it. Because like it or not, this money was budgeted. It shouldn't have been, but it was. Let me go back at it. Let me say hello and welcome to line one. It's going to be Roman in Boston. Roman, talk to me, brother. What's up?
Hey, Joe. The previous caller hit it right on the head. This is the biggest money laundering scheme in the history of creation. Notice how none of the Democrats, none of them, especially our illustrious senator and Ayanna Pressley over here in Massachusetts, none of them are saying, oh, my God, this is really going on. None of them. All they're doing is fighting back and resisting, and that's all they got. And one of those kids that's working with Elon Musk is from Boston University.
Nice.
AOC's alma mater, and they just revoked his scholarship. I don't
Did
think
they really?
have to worry.
Stop it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yep. Report came out.
I've got to look that up. Roman, I got to look that up because I'm sure Elon Musk will probably pay for his education if that actually happened.
Yeah,
but let me ask you, you mentioned Ayanna Pressley. She's not a senator. She's a representative. But let me ask you this. In her representative district, do the people there want billions spent on crap? I mean, is that what I'm believing? Because they keep on electing her.
Joe, I happen to be a police officer in her district. I was thinking last night I should run against her. But
please.
And I said it before, like, Massachusetts is so dirty. Bob, the politics are so dirty in Massachusetts. Amy Cannavale, the RNC commissioner, all the Republicans that are in Massachusetts is controlled opposition. That's all they are. We will not be able to get these people out. And I'm surprised she even chimed in, because it really has nothing to do with race, and that's all she crows about is racism all day. She's the biggest race baiter.
Well, she did it again today. And Roman, I'm glad to know that you're a police officer. Be safe out there, and I love when you call in. Thank you, brother. I'm not going to play the video because it's ridiculous, but Ayanna Pressley literally sat down today and questioned somebody in front of a House committee about the population of Iowa. And she said, do you know the racial makeup of Iowa? And it turns out it's 96% white or something, or 90% white, and only 4% black. And I guess you'd have American Indian or Hispanic or something in between. But 90% white, and she found that to be a problem, saying that the people weren't properly represented there in Iowa because it's so white or something. It's all very strange. Somebody said they want a governmental makeup sort of like it is in Iowa. She took that to mean more whites and less blacks, or fewer blacks. Let me say this. If we had a government, because the black population in America is between 13 and 14%. If we had a government that was 17% black, should I be mad? Well, hey, wait a second. It's only 13, 14% black. You got way too much black representation. Can I say that? No, I, by the way, wouldn't think that, and I wouldn't care. If our government was 90% black and they were doing the right job for the American people, I'd be fine with that. This is what Ayanna Pressley doesn't seem to understand. And they never go to that level because she wants us to force 13 or 14% representation in the federal government of black people. Now, whites, of course, can represent blacks, and blacks can represent whites. I have no problem with that. But she does. She needs that number. So if it's 15%, should we get rid of some of the black representation? If it's 26%, should we say, hey, wait a second, that's way too much. That's double what it should be. Or would she call everybody a racist who said that? Think about it. 833-JOE-PAGS, 833-563-7247, joepags.com. Craig, New Mexico, talk to me, brother. Let's go.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm living the dream. What's happening?
So my dad, who flew bombers over Europe in World War II, said when you get the heaviest flak, you know you're over the right place.
Right.
And so all this screaming, gnashing of teeth, and crying, all over saving taxpayer dollars. To me, it seems suspicious, doesn't it?
You think?
When I was in federal office, yeah. So I was a federal agent going all the way back to the 80s with the Border Patrol and went on from there in a career. And it was the same thing at the finite level. And at the end of the fiscal year, the boss would come in and go, look, we've got $1.7 million. We got to spend it. And when you're new, you're like, why do we have to spend it? Why
Right.
can't we save the taxpayers $1.7 million? No, you got to spend it because then it won't be allocated next year. And so that type of mindset has to be done away with. And then finally, my last statement as retired law enforcement is our governor is and our attorney general, who was completely 88% financed by George Soros.
Right.
They're going to block Trump. They're going to block all these attempts to deport violent aliens, to cooperate with ICE. Please, Trump, out there, your administration, take out the U.S. Marshals, take out the FBI, take out INS, take out every single federal agent out of New Mexico and put them in a state where they're cooperating, because New Mexico doesn't deserve that type of assistance if they're not going to cooperate to protect the citizens of this state.
Well, a couple of things, Craig. One, if they're not cooperating, they're allowed to by law. If they block him or block Tom Homan or block ICE, that's a violation of law. I hope and pray that your stupid attorney general and your stupid governor literally try to block them, because I would love to see them taken away in handcuffs. They will be arrested if they literally try to block what ICE is trying to do, because people like your governor and your attorney general are the same people who say, we're not going to round up illegal aliens, that's up to the federal government. So if the federal government shows up to do it and they block them, they will be arrested. I hope they get arrested. I would love that.
Do you think they really would go that far?
Yes.
To go after governors?
They would arrest them.
And attorney generals?
If the governor and attorney general aided and abetted or hid illegal aliens, they would be arrested. Tom Homan, I think, would love the photo op. I'll be honest with you.
I was in the Border Patrol when he was in the Border Patrol, and I think you're right about that. But
well, brother Craig, listen, a great phone call. What your dad said, I thought was amazing. He's right. Where you're getting the most flack, you know that you're over the right target. So that's why they're all yelling and screaming, why are you taking away my free money? What are you doing? And that's why everybody's being attacked. But the taxpayer knows. In New Mexico, in Maine, in Washington State, in Florida, and here in Texas, the taxpayer knows they're looking to save us money. I'm not going to riot and and protest and burn flags in the street, hoping they'll spend more of my money on stupid stuff. They're completely out of their minds on this. As President Trump would say, they're a bunch of lunatics. You're fired. All right. It is 833-JOE-PAGS, 833-563-7247, joepags.com. I definitely want to hear from you. A lot of people want to get through. They're spending this money. I'm waiting for somebody to call in. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I'm waiting for somebody to call in to say, I love that we're spending all that money, $38 billion on crap. I want more stuff just like that. I want to spend more of my money. In fact, I might send in more tax money than they ask me for because I want more diversity in Libya. I'm waiting for that call. I'm guessing I'm not going to get that call. 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. Go check out that video. I did make a couple of videos today about the money that's being spent. The one video that I've now pinned as my top video on TikTok is about how they're complaining that Elon Musk wasn't elected. He wasn't elected. Who elected? Who voted for Elon Musk? Well, a couple of quick answers. One quick snide answer would be, who voted in the primary for Kamala Harris? I'll wait. Oh, that's right, nobody. Nah, not one person did. But the better question in this specific scenario is, who elected the people who are using the 38 to 40 billion American dollars in USAID? I'll wait. The answer is, of course, not a one of them got one vote. They aren't elected. They're unelected bureaucrats trying to spend your money while the people that are trying to protect them, because they don't want the money to go away, of their woke projects or their regime change, or whatever the hell they're doing with it, they're all complaining that Elon Musk wasn't elected. So stupid. If you just take a second and take a breath, it shows how stupid this entire thing is. 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. If you're on TikTok, it's JOEPAGS. That's my top pinned video. Then my first video past the pins is going to be the video where I actually outline some of the ridiculous spending listed by USAID. Meantime, I'm going to tell you about Lean. Try Lean, take Lean. TakeLean.com is the actual website. Lean is a great supplement. It's not prescription, not injections. If you're a yo-yo dieter, you want to lose significant weight, you can try to do so by yourself. Going to be yo. You're going to gain it, going to lose it, going to lose it, going to gain it, going to gain it, going to lose it. And I'm telling you, that roller coaster will eventually harm your health, and it's going to make you so tired of doing it that you'll stop doing it. Why not get lean? Why not try this out? You're talking about, avoiding the heart problems you can get from yo-yo dieting. It's also avoiding the prescription stuff. If you don't like injections, you don't want the prescription stuff, and we're not really sure about what the side effects could be. Get lean. It's non-prescription. It's a great supplement. It helps to help you maintain healthy blood sugar. Also controls those appetites and that craving. Plus, it's going to burn fat by converting fat to energy, which is what you need. Plus, I'm going to save you 20% just by starting with Lean right now by going to TakeLean.com. TakeLean.com. The code is PAGS20. TakeLean.com, PAGS20, to save 20%. And we're back after this.
You're listening to Joe Pags.
Clear. Did you see that story out of Alice yesterday?
Out of Alice, Texas?
Yeah.
No, what?
I sent it to you. I guess somebody sent out some, warning to parents for their kids, to have documentation on them because they could possibly get deported or whatever.
Totally not true.
I know.
I'll look into it. Thank you. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because I've seen friends of mine talk about that, saying that, that I guess one of their kids in college, was told something similar, but I guess other people started commenting and saying, well, if was that the school or was that an individual teacher saying that? So
I'm sure it was the teacher trying to scare them. Yeah.
Right.
I'll use it next hour. Thank you.
Got it.
What's happening? Twitch, good to see everybody. Subs, gifts, subs, and bits. Guess we'll let you go at the top on YouTube. I appreciate you all stopping by as well. Again, the only way we can monetize YouTube is memberships, gift memberships, and super chats. Appreciate you hanging out. You want to see the rest of the show, you go over to Twitch, which is just go to joepags.com, click on Watch Now. On Rumble Rants, also subs and gift subs. I probably will continue on YouTube, but I think what I'll do is I'll make it members-only chat on YouTube. This way you can watch it, but if you want to chat, you got to support what we do. I don't think it's asking much. We put a lot of work into this. I think you guys see the work. You see the toolbox in the work. Hello, Sam.
Yep.
Not that I know about oldie. I wouldn't know though. I'm not tuned into San Antonio news. I was doing the show.
I'm sending you something you should read right now.
The News Nation link?
No, it just came in.
We've got some breaking news about USAID. By the way, it's the Joe Pags Show. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Breaking news on USAID. This just came in from Reuters. Trump administration to keep only 294 USAID staff out of over 10,000 globally. Sources, I'm sorry, I have to laugh. I'm not laughing at people losing their jobs. I'm laughing at people who've been hiding money and saying that nobody has any authority over them. Nobody has any oversight over them. And telling Marco Rubio and Donald Trump to pound sand. 9,700 are losing their jobs. Here's a story from Aaron Benko, Jonathan Landy, and Patricia Zengerle, I think. And this is from just a half an hour ago. President Donald Trump's administration plans to keep fewer than 300 staff at the U.S. Agency for International Development out of the agency's worldwide total of more than 10,000, four sources told Reuters on Thursday. Some would call that today. Washington's primary humanitarian aid agency has been a target of government reorganization programs spearheaded by businessman Elon Musk, a close Trump ally. They had to add that part. Since the Republican president took office on January 20th. The four sources familiar with the plan said that only 294 staff of the agency would be allowed to keep their jobs, including only 12 in the Africa Bureau and 8 in the Asia Bureau. Good. Quote, that's outrageous, said J. Brian Atwood, who served as the head of USAID for more than 6 years, adding the mass termination of personnel would effectively kill an agency that has helped keep tens of millions of people around the world from dying. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Explain some of the expenditures that we're seeing coming out from Doge, you loser. That was me interjecting that, by the way. Quote, a lot of people will not survive, said Atwood, now a senior fellow at Brown University's Watson Institute. The U.S. Department of State did not respond to a request for comment, with Trump and Musk, the world's wealthiest man, leveling false accusations that its staff were criminals. Dozens of USAID staff have been put on leave, hundreds of international contractors have been laid off, and life-saving programs around the globe have been left in limbo. This is actually a line from Reuters. It's actually a line from Reuters that they did those things. And for some reason, when they say Musk's name, they have to say the world's wealthiest man. They're literally saving American taxpayer money. Reuters might not understand that American taxpayers want to save some of their money. They don't want their tax dollars to go to some far-off land to do some diversity crap that we never asked for. They think they're in the right here. It is crazy to me that they think they have any standing in this. They look like, as Trump would say, a bunch of lunatics. Let me go to line 3. It's going to be actually 4. It's Indiana and Joe. Hi, Joe. What's going on?
Hey, Joe. How's it going tonight?
Living the dream, my friend. Talk to me.
Well, I may be wrong. I'm not a professional anything, just retired law enforcement. And this money spending is ridiculous, number one. But number two, I've ran into a lot of people that don't know exactly how that gets earmarked. And I'm thinking I'm right. This is how we get those 1,500-page bills, and everybody gets to tack on their little pet project.
Yes. Well, I think this actually doesn't even take that much of a line. Joe, it's a great question, by the way, and I appreciate you calling in. It's a great question. This is probably, and I don't have it in front of me, I'm willing to be wrong about this, and I will ask some people who are legislators as I interview them in the coming days. But I would assume that it just says, we need $38 billion for USAID in the continuing resolution. I don't think they're actually writing $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq. I don't think that's going to be in the bill or in the continuing resolution. I am betting that it says USAID gets $38 billion and nobody gets to ask a question. You need a line item veto. You need the president to be able to go through and just start scratching things off that don't make any sense. And as many times as weird outlets like Reuters and The Hill and Politico, as many times as they want to write negative stories about this, that's how many times I'm going to keep on reiterating to you, those who choose to trust what I bring you every day. These people are lying. They're spending money on garbage. We'll keep on highlighting the garbage they're spending money on. And by the way, they're either spending it on that garbage that they say they are, or it's going to programs that are regime building, nation state building, that are kickbacks for somebody. We don't know where it's really going. I'll tell you that right now. But it's $38 billion that I don't know anybody. I've not talked to anybody who's like, yeah, I like spending that kind of money. 833-JOE-PAGS, joepags.com. Click on contact. Check out all the social media as well. We're back after this.
Joe Pags.
Clear.
Hey guys on the phone lines, thank you so much for listening and calling in. We are going to switch up the topic here, so I do have to let you run, but keep listening and definitely call back soon.
All right, people, going to grab another soda. I'll be back. Stay right here.
The Joe Pag Show will start in 5 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 4 minutes. The Joe Pag Show will start in 3 minutes.
All right, YouTube, I appreciate you hanging out. Y'all have a good night. Come and check us out on Twitch or on Rumble. Gotta go. Bye.